You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 27th meeting of the Michigan City Water Works Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
The meeting of the December 27th Water Board to order. Approval of the minutes from the meeting on December 13th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the previous board meeting, December 13th, 2022.
I'll second it.
Motion second, we approve the minutes from December 13th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Purchase order.
We have a list of 6 purchase orders. First purchase order is utility supply, 6-inch dual sleeves confirming. We need to have some immediately these get used a lot when we have main breaks. And that's for $1,200. And then we also placed an order with Ferguson for 6-inch dual sleeves for $2,640. That'd be the second purchase order. The third purchase order is to Digital Graphic Solutions. This is graphics for truck 20. That's the new crew truck that we bought earlier this year for $1,193. The next purchase order is to Beecher Printing for 20,000 disconnect notices for $1,070.39. These are the ones we print all the data on. These are the forms that we use. And then the next one to Beecher is for 85,000 utility bills for $2,286.61. And then the last one is to H&G Underground Utilities. This is for installing a service on Warnke Road for $3,870. Normally this is a project we would have done ourselves with our own folks, but this water main is right next to a very deep ditch. And in order to get under that ditch that's full of water all the time, what we're gonna do is we're having the contractor come in, bore underneath, and then tie things together for us. So.
How long will those disconnect notices last?
The disconnect notices will probably last us, if not 6 months, close to a year. I mean, we buy a lot at one time to keep the price down. We don't send out that many. No, that's we try to buy multiple months at a time so that we only have to buy a few times a year. And then the utility bill is $85,000. I think that's about 6 months worth, I think.
I'll make a motion to accept the list of purchase orders dated 12/27/2022.
I'll second it.
Motion second, we approve the purchase orders dated 12/27. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims. Is that general insurance premium? Is that once a year?
That's our some of the insurance that we're paying for in that is annual, and then some of it is quarterly. I can pull that up, and that's for this coming year. That would be the renewal of workers' compensation for the entire year for $67,643. It's a little over 10% increase on the workers' compensation. I did meet with General Insurance, and a lot of the driver on the increase in rates is the inflation, because everything's costing extra. It's driving up the costs of our insurance as well. And we also had we're in the 3 years that are part of that workers' comp, we had a couple of injuries that had, they were what would be normally minor injuries, but they ended up having expensive surgeries attached to them. And so we think, well, those are gonna come off of next year, so in '24, we should see an improvement.
Okay. All right. Someone like to make a motion on the claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the list of claims dated December 27th, 2022.
I'll second it.
The motion second, that we approve the claims dated December 27th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial statement, Chris?
Go through page 2 on our cash flow. The receipts for the month are $642,187. We did take in $256 of bad debt we previously written off. Our disbursements for the month were $552,650, not including our monthly transfers. We spent $88,012 on inventory items and $3,351 on capital items. Left us with a balance at the end of the month of $858,440. And on page 2, our distribution line was a little bit high. We had some tires we had to buy for a truck. We rented an excavator and purchased an inverter. Those fell on that line item. And then our general expenses is higher. We had some expenses for Westler Engineering and a workers' comp audit that fell in that line. Left us with a net loss for the month of $45,025. And the net income for the year through November is $300,252. And that, of course, includes depreciation expense, so non-cash items, so it's all on there. Page 4. Nothing too much out of the ordinary on this page. Our materials and supplies line includes the inverter and some chlorine analyzer parts. And our contracted services line is where the excavator rental, the Westler Engineering falls under, and then our tires under transportation. And our workers' comp audit, that's an annual audit, fell under the insurance line. Actually, that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
All right, any questions of Chris on the financial?
What does PILT stand for?
Payment for taxes,
Okay.
paid at city quarterly.
Just in case.
Since we don't pay property tax.
I always like that password.
Any other questions for Chris?
I'll make a motion to accept the financial statements period ending November 30th, 2022.
I'll second it.
The motion second, we approve the financials through the month of December 2022. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, the business plan, 2023. All right.
I did distribute this business plan at our last meeting. I did a brief summary. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted me to recap. Going into discussions. Since I did send this operating forecast out, I did have a meeting with GIS concerning all of our insurance costs and our insurance pricing for the upcoming year, not just our workers' comp, but it was all of them. And across the board, they did state that we're looking at our insurance premiums. This is not our health insurance, but our liabilities, all of those kinds of insurances, about at a 10% increase. And they said 3% is rates adjusting upward, the other 7% is really tied to the inflation, the cost of building materials. So, if one of our buildings is damaged, they had to increase how much they're gonna have to spend to repair it and that sort of thing. So, they said that's the prime driver with regard to that increase. I did talk to Chris after having that meeting, and he said that we have adequate built into our plan to absorb that increase.
On the, how are we doing on the, on the customers automatic payment? Take it from their account.
How are we doing as far as number of customers doing that? I couldn't say right off the top of my head. That number has been increasing with this new online service. I believe we've had an increase that way. Plus, a lot of folks are coming to us and signing up for ACH through our department, where we're doing it. If it's done online through our third party, there's a charge. If we do it, there's no charge. And so we've had pretty good number of people. I would say there's been multiple, a few dozen a month at least going into that.
Yeah, over the last year and a half, it's gone.
That's really increased.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Can we get a number on that next meeting,
Sure.
or next time you're here, Chris? Or-
Of course, as I stated before, I did build into this plan the additional personnel that we're intending for the lead removal program, as well as the additional office staff. The personnel for the lead removal program, though, will be primarily out of our improvement fund because they will be capitalized. Most of the work that they do will be capitalized, about 95%. So. It'll be different people doing it. We'll move them around, because that way it's not one crew doing the exact same job every single day. But with the third crew, there will always be a crew dedicated to doing this. So
What's the outlook on the licensed operators?
at this point in time, we had one take his test back in October. He did not pass. He needs to continue to study and try again. We had another one who was scheduled to do it and ended up changing his test date and not paying attention to the limitations on how far he can move it. And he moved himself out of it. So he's been instructed to get signed up for it. I have to follow up and make sure that he has been signed up to take it again. We did have one operator leave, and we hired a new operator. And so that new operator is still learning the job, but that new operator does have the ability, essentially, they have a 4-year degree that will qualify them, if they pass the exam, to only have to do 1 year of experience to be certified. Whereas if you don't have that, then you have 3 years. As soon as that person has the knowledge, and they should be going into the operator school in the coming year. And so My hope is that that person is able to pass this exam, should have the background knowledge in chemistry and biology and that sort of thing, and sciences. So most of what they have to learn is the mechanicals of operating. So that's going to be a good test, I guess, of whether we're going the right direction on things. As far as the maintenance personnel, they were supposed to be examined, and so I have to find out if they have signed up and taken their exams, and make sure that that's getting done. And then one of them left and went over to distribution.
Is this gonna be a issue going forward?
As long as we keep working on it and trying to get somewhere,
Show them.
that's the key, is that we're making that effort. The problem we had is that we hadn't been making that effort, so. That's gonna be important that we have that effort.
Okay, so we got one certified operator now, and we should have 4.
We should have 4 plus all of our backup operators should be
Right.
certified as well.
Is that gonna add new people to the payroll?
No, our intention is that the number of personnel that we have is the number of personnel we have. They need to get certified. It was in all of them that are bid into the jobs that they're in, or where they're hired in. That was part of their stipulations. So we're working on making it happen. Now, we do have one project that at this point in time, I don't know if it may cause us to move away from a couple of, and we may have to adjust some of our capital spend. We have a water main that is hanging on a bridge. That's not an uncommon practice, but in this cold snap, water started coming out of the casing that surrounds it, protects it. So we have to find out if it's an actual leak or if there's something else going on, and we're hoping that it's something easy and simple. But if the main is broken, it's going to be a pretty expensive fix. So we'll adjust accordingly. And in the capital plan, one of the items that's also included in there is our comprehensive planning study. The last one was done in 2013. 10 years is a pretty common span of time between comprehensive plans, where we go through. So one of the things that we did this past year, and it was, we have one more invoice, but that's gonna end up hitting next year because we didn't get it until too late to be in tonight's package. But the water model, the hydraulic model that we had done, basically determining the flow and pressures throughout our distribution system based on how our piping is configured and our operational situations. Once we've gotten a preliminary report on that, which we're going to be going through and reviewing. And once that's finalized, that'll help us also with identifying areas where we may have some pressure issues or some flow issues that we might need to loop or enhance main or possibly even add booster station or something like that. So that becomes part of the comprehensive plan as well.
When do we see the numbers on the leakage situation?
On this leak,
Yeah, no, on the leakage overall.
leakage overall,
Yeah, within the system.
well, we actually have that data on a monthly basis. Chris pulls a report and does a, build versus produced. And we're usually right around 11, 12 to 13%, somewhere in there. It goes up and down a little bit, but
How's that stack up with the others in the industry?
15% is considered, under 15% is considered good, especially the system as old as ours.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a brand new water system or a community that's had massive growth in recent years, and you have a large percentage of brand new water main, then yeah, though, your numbers should be even lower. But, yeah, if you're under 15%, you're in pretty good shape.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Chris or comments? Yeah, see by the numbers, we're gonna, the next couple of years, we'll have to consider a rate increase.
I think, even if we weren't ramping up our efforts, like I said, with the lead service line project, just the inflation we're dealing with is gonna drive us into that situation. Was it last year, NIPSCO got a 10% increase and they're trying for another one? That, you know, just stuff like that is just adding up.
Yep. So be cognizant of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anything else on the business plan? Okay. Approval of the meeting schedule for next year?
Do we need to approve the business plan?
Yeah, we probably did.
I'll make a motion to accept the business plan dated for the year 2023.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the business plan for the year 2023 as presented. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, meeting schedule.
I look forward to the rest of, through the year 2023, and I did find two conflicts, because normally we do the second and fourth Tuesday. On the April 11th meeting, which will be the second Tuesday of April, the AWWA annual conference will be in Indianapolis that week, and usually myself and a couple board members are in attendance. So my recommendation is that we would move it forward to April 4th, and then we would have a regular scheduled meeting on April 25th. But we'd still end up having two meetings in the month of April. And then concerning June 13th, although no decision has been made as to whether anybody will be attending the annual conference and exposition that's this year in Ontario, Canada, in Toronto. We could plan this, or we could hold off on that until it's known whether anybody's attending. But I included it because I saw that conflict.
Is there a program for Toronto already out?
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen.
Nice to see that first.
country, so I'm not
Yeah,
going. Not going.
and in past years, I know Superintendent Russell and a board member who had gone to the annual conferences.
Larry.
Yeah, last year, where was it last year? Texas or something like that. And, we had a lot of stuff going on, so didn't really see reason to try and get to it.
You're talking about the one in April,
No, I'm talking about the one that's,
Canada?
Yeah.
the one that's gonna be in Canada in June. The one in April, the Indiana section, AWWA one, that's, that one, pretty much I should be there as a voting member of the board because we have a business meeting at the end of that as well. But the other one in June is still kind of up in the air as to whether it will go.
All right. Well, you want to just hold off on June until we can get closer to it?
That's fine if you want, yeah.
We need to approve this.
I guess probably not. It's, I don't know that it requires necessarily a vote as much as it's
Consensus.
consensus, I think, yeah.
We're still gonna be on the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday.
Otherwise, other than
April and June.
April
maybe?
4th.
April 4th.
We'll meet on April 4th instead of April 11th. Okay.
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 Old
No
business?
conflict with April 4th. I have no conflict with April 4th. Nice to be retired.
Old business?
Old business, I do not have any old business this time.
Okay. New business?
I don't have any new business either.
Public comment? Director's comments? Just like to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'll defer to,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
okay.
See no reason we should.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, granted.
Except for you to,